Good day, fellow Titans, Hunters, and Warlocks. Welcome back to Destiny 2, and here we are, part 3 of my Destiny 2 review, The Ugly. Number 1, Lore. The only bright spot of interest that I have seen in D2's lore is Riven, the raid boss from the Last Wish raid. The lore revolving around Riven is interesting, even trending towards fascinating for me. So this is proof positive that of all the elements of D2, Forsaken was probably the best. And frankly, if D2 had started with Forsaken, the narrative around the franchise might have been very, very different. Anyway, back to lore. My rant from 3 years ago concerning the lore of D2 and how it connects with Destiny still stands. Bungie does not truly care about continuity between Destiny and D2. Bungie continues to chip away more and more at erasing or manipulating the original Destiny lore to fuel the lore monstrosity known as D2. The threads of story still are disjointed and frayed, and on top of that, no longer does it feel as if it's about the fight between the light and the darkness. It feels lost, as if the writers are just looking to circle the proverbial drain of exploring the universe of moral gray. No longer is the story about good versus evil. Also, there's been quite a mentality shift in how characters are presented in the game. No longer does the lore feel as if it's about your character becoming legend or exploring the legends of the past. It's as if the mission by the writers is to cast every character as being crippled by some form of moral quandary. This morass of soap opera drama is uninspiring and frankly unenjoyable. At the end of the day, the biggest reason I hate D2 continues to be the biggest reason I hate D2. Number 2, Crucible. Holy cow, how do I put this other than Crucible is a nightmare? And I'm going to lump several big problems with this game into this one category because it's most noticeable in this area. And those are weapon balancing, subclass balancing, movement speed, stats and medals, map design, and map rotation. So let's get into it. First, weapon balance in the game is crap. Want to win games in Crucible? Grab any shotgun, grab any hand cannon, and just run straight at the other team. You're pretty much guaranteed to rack up multiple kills. Hand cannons such as Crimson, Ace of Spades, and Igneous Hammer are able to take out opposing guardians at ranges I would consider to be worthy of Destiny's Scout Rifle range. And this is not a joke. The first couple of times that I was killed by someone using Igneous Hammer, I literally stopped playing, just staring at the screen, having a flashback to Destiny Year 1 when Last Word could kill you from further distance than Mida Multitool. It's absurd what hand cannons can do in D2 right now. It's mind-bogglingly stupid. Second, the thing that compounds the weapon balance issue is movement speed. Movement speed is so high in this game, there's no reason to have weapon variety to win games. None whatsoever. And movement issues aren't confined just towards the issue of lateral speed, but also of verticality. The hunters in this game are literally banging their heads on the clouds in the skybox with how high they can jump. It's staggering. And giving the issues of shotguns, a hunter with an overpowered shotgun is just a nightmare. The number of times I died to hunters falling from the sky with shotguns is ridiculous. Third, the stat and medal system is still absolute garbage. Still. This is still one of my biggest gripes. I managed to get a 10 kill streak. Oh wait, time. I'm wrong. A 10 defeat streak by taking a bow into a game and just sticking arrows in people's knees while my teammates killed them. I watched a guy on YouTube use an exotic pair of boots on his hunter to get a "we ran out of medals" medal. He didn't fire a single shot, but every time he would dodge, the exotic perk on the boots would impart only two ticks of damage to an enemy, and if the target was killed by a teammate, he would get credit for the kill. The stats and medals system for D2 continues to be absolute and complete crap. And Bungie know it's garbage because all their weapon quests require you to get quote-unquote final blows in Crucible. In other words, what we would call in any other FPS game a kill. But Bungie won't suck up their pride and admit they made a mistake, so they invent new terms for players to bang their heads on. Fourth, map design. The maps for Crucible are not designed for the 6v6 game modes that are so popular in this game. Bungie said so in year one, and that hasn't changed. And the old maps they keep bringing back from Destiny tells me there is no creativity left in their PvP department. It's really sad how poor the map designs for the game have gotten. Lastly, map rotation's crap. You are almost guaranteed to play the same 5 to 6 maps anytime you jump into Crucible. The rotation on maps is super stale. In a nutshell, Crucible is garbage, and anything that revolves around it is also garbage. PvP in Destiny 2, which should be one of the highlights of this game, is by far one of its worst aspects. I will say it again. I played Destiny 1 for 5,000 hours because I loved the PvP in Destiny 1. But Destiny 2's PvP, the D2 Crucible, is disgusting, boring, frustrous, mindless crap. Number 3, Stasis. I don't even know where to begin with Stasis. It's a nightmare from top to bottom. The Stasis subclasses are terribly overpowered, incredibly hard to fight against, and seem to lack overall integration into the game. The Hunter subclass is especially egregious. Who on earth thought that creating a super that is a swirling snow vortex was a good idea? And to make it worse, that super doesn't end when the person who used it is killed. The snow tornado just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny from the Demon Santa Krampus. Getting frozen by stasis grenades so I can be sniped from range because I'm stuck? Yeah, that's sure fun. The Magic Warlock freezing everything in sight as he teleports across the battlefield? Great idea! Shoot me now! Take all my complaints about the Crucible problems and ramp them up by 10. Literally. It's the equivalent of sticking a bull in a china shop and then chucking a beehive in with him and locking all the doors. And how on earth do you justify Stasis with established game lore? Seriously, how? You can't. In a nutshell, Stasis is game-breaking in all the wrong ways. Even though Bungie is taking steps to curb the problems with Stasis, I have zero hope that they will fix the problems they've created, which is classic Bungie at this point in the franchise's life. Number 4, currency. I want to take a deep dive into the currency problem in Destiny 2. But to do that, I need to define what a currency actually is. For the purpose of this argument, a currency is anything that can be acquired by the player and then traded in the game at an NPC or vendor to earn or purchase a reward. So there are many things in Destiny that you may use or acquire that would be considered a currency. The easiest one that comes to our heads is Glimmer. But by the same measurement, some things such as keys or runes that unlock chests and raids or strikes or activate certain public events would not be considered a currency. So, let us back up to Destiny 1 for a minute. If you play Destiny, you have a total of 17 currencies. Glimmer, legendary tokens, silver, silver dust, motes of light, strange coins, armor materials, weapon parts, hadium flake, special ammo synth, heavy ammo synth, and 5 planetary materials in the forms of relic iron, helium filaments, spin metal, spirit bloom, and worm spore. Destiny 2 has 19 currencies. Silver, bright dust, glimmer, legendary shards, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, gunsmith materials, vanguard tokens, iron banner tokens, ghost fragments, dark fragments, and 7 planetary materials in the form of dusk light shards, glacial starwort, microphasic data lattice, spin metal, helium filaments, baryon boughs, and etheric spiral. And this isn't including the brand new addition of 3 currencies being added to the transmog system that players have been asking for since 2014, which would bring the total number of currencies in the game up to a staggering number of 22. Now, that's not that much more than Destiny 1. But the greatest problem with all these currencies in Destiny 2 is not that they exist, but that they exist for only one purpose or no purpose at all. For example, Vanguard tokens are absolutely worthless. After every strike, you get these things. They accumulate in your inventory, and when you turn them into Zavala, he gives you a worthless piece of legendary gear that is 20 power levels below your current level, and you immediately shred that piece of gear into legendary shards. Why? What's the point? Why not just give me the legendary piece of gear or the legendary shards at the end of the strike and save me the time of returning to the tower? Gunsmith materials is another one. I literally have over 3,000 materials, and now actually I just looked at my phone. It's over 5,300 gunsmith materials, and I took a 3-year break from the game. I never turn these things in for the exact same reason. It's pointless. And to compound the problem, let's say I want to purchase an exotic I never got my hands on in past releases. So I go to the Lost Lights kiosk and holy freaking cow, I've got to have what to purchase this gun? 200,000 glimmer, 200 dusklight shards, an exotic cipher, and an ascendant shard? Okay, but wait. The ascendant shard requires you to have 10 enhancement prisms to be purchased? What? How many currencies do you need in a game? The number of things you have to juggle in Destiny 2 is absolutely staggering. It's too much and needs to be seriously reworked. Number 5, armor. The styling of armor in D2 continues to be absolutely hideous. It's terrible. The only set of armor across all 3 characters that I could find that I liked even a little bit was the Reverie Dawn armor set for Titans from the Forsaken DLC. Perusing through the game, there is nothing else that is even remotely good looking. Case in point, look at these helmets for Warlocks. Are you kidding me? That is beyond ugly. No amount of shaders is going to fix that. Gag me with a spoon. This is horrible. 100% garbage. Armor style and aesthetics in D2 is a joke. The idea of being a mythical warrior legend from space has completely gone out the window. Armor in this game is laughably bad. And if for anybody who spent a lot of time in Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, you know that the aesthetics of how your character look is a big factor for a lot of players. So to have the armor styling that is showing up in D2 be this, it is just unforgivable. Armor in D2 sucks. It looks horrible. It is horrible. Come on, Bungie. You used to make some amazing looking sets of armor from Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Destiny. They were all pretty much great stuff anywhere you looked, but D2 armor is a joke. It's horrible. It looks so bad. It's so ugly. Number 6, Eververse. You know, while I'm talking about aesthetics and styling and personalization options for this game, I want to take a moment and make this my final point of the video. Destiny had a great sense of collectible mindedness. Play the game, collect the loot, show off that you did something difficult, and the proof of your exploits was shown in your collection. Shaders, armor, ships, sparrows, weapons, you name it. You earned that item in-game, in the game's content, through your playtime. Bungie even made kiosks so you could easily retrieve what you had collected. Skip forward to D2. There are a ton of collectibles in this game in the form of shaders and emblems and even now weapon skins. But where is all this stuff found? Well, it's in the Eververse store, behind a microtransaction wall. Now, I personally am not a fan of microtransactions. I think it's a dirty, money-grabbing scheme in the world of gaming. It's not illegal, I just don't like it. I would rather pay more money for a good game versus paying less money for a game and being constantly enticed to spend my money in the game via transactions, microtransactions. I think the upfront price of games should be higher. $60 is too little. But microtransactions? Yuck. Now, have I never done a microtransaction? No. If a game I like is really doing a wonderful job with their content creation, I will go into their store and purchase something as an incentive to continue making great content for the game. Sea of Thieves is one of those games where I will open my wallet a little bit to purchase a set of ships, sails, and cannons, and hull, etc. But here's the rub. When you lock a vast majority of your content behind the microtransaction store, such as in D2, I am even less incentivized to purchase your content or even play your game. I'm not going to buy into your crap. So I don't like Bungie's mentality with Eververse. How this is the way they want to make money through their game. But I'm going to point the finger at all of you D2 players who created this problem. Yes, you, the dedicated D2 player who pays into Eververse. You don't like Eververse either, but you still shell out money for the cosmetics for some unfathomable reason. This is all on you. You bought into this scheme, and now Bungie will never stop using this method to make money. It's no longer about making a great game. It's about getting you morons to keep buying into their microtransaction store, and it's your own stinking fault. You created this monster. You opened Pandora's box. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found the review insightful. Please stay tuned for our next video. I'll be touching on something quite a bit different, a little bit of a personal look into my gaming life. And I encourage you to stick around and watch that video because I have a few things I really think that are important for people to hear. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.